Yes, people, welcome back to another episode of RNS. I'm here with my boy KWEKU'S. Zach, you're producing. Everyone's here. What are you telling me, KWEKU?
Having a good time, man. Having a good time. Obviously, NFL season's finished, so
now we have to talk about basketball, innit?
Basketball, yeah. That quick. But the thing is, Adam Silver hit the button. He hit the button. He said, "Luka, get your ass to LA."
To LA, bro.
And now the discourse is about the NBA. So yeah, I can't complain.
Yeah, and obviously, I feel like this is the part of the NBA. This is part of the American sports schedule for us, where NFL is done. We're not going to really talk about the NFL till maybe the draft, and then also whatever happens in the draft and summer and so forth. But then the NBA is like, no one cares about the regular season until after the All-Star weekend. Mm-hmm. Trade deadline's gone. Everyone starts, rotations get smaller. Everyone starts to see where I can get into the playoffs and play in. So we thought, you know what, let's start some NBA discourse. And we were talking the other day and you mentioned Kevin Durant. Mm-hmm. And you said, is KD a top 10 player?
Off the back of him reaching 30,000 points.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Off the back of him reaching 30,000 points, in which he said he didn't really care. And listen, not many people are going to reach 30,000 points. But he's reached 30,000 points. We've seen KD, when did he get drafted? I want to say 2007? Yeah, 07. So he's been in the league all this time. Would you put him down as a top 10 player?
Top 10 talent, for sure. Top 10 talent. Like, I actually don't think there are 5 basketballers that have been born that are more talented than Kevin Durant. And when I say talent, I mean height, ability, scoring the basketball. People sleep on how good KD in his peak was defensively as well. Like, KD can do it all. If you're on a blacktop and you're playing basketball and you're picking, right? You'll be like, okay, so this guy's taller than everyone. He can shoot better than everyone. He's got handles as well.
He can play defense.
He can play defense. I'm picking KD. In the one-on-one, if I'm being honest, one-on-one, does Michael Jordan beat Kevin Durant? I actually don't know.
Probably not.
I don't know. I don't think many players do. I think LeBron has a hard time one-on-one against Kevin Durant because that's cash money from the outside. So yeah, talent-wise, he's top 5. But NBA is all about narrative. It's all about career. It's all about accomplishments. And he's given us, what did Kendrick say? He goes, greatness is accomplishments plus astonishments. And Kevin Durant's given us... That's why he's the GOAT. And Kevin Durant's given us like astonishments, and he has got the accomplishments. Obviously, he's a 2-time champion, 2-time finals MVP, 4-time scoring champion, all NBA multiple times, all-star multiple times. But I would say that Kevin Durant underachieved in his career based on his talent, personally.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I feel like when it comes to the narrative, as you said, American sports are really based on narrative. KD's narrative is you went to the best team to go and win your chips. Mm-hmm. Now, if KD won those 2 chips in Brooklyn, I think he goes down as a top 10 player of all time.
Of course.
But because he went to a team that, even though they didn't win, let's forget they didn't win. They had won without him. They won without him.
Yeah. But in 2016, they didn't win.
2016, they didn't win.
So Jeff Draymond called him crying in the car park saying, please join us, please join us.
Exactly. So even though we want to say he joined a winning team, he didn't officially, but yes, he did join the Golden State Warriors, who were reaching NBA Finals for fun back then and were practically the 73-9, the greatest regular season team we've ever seen. So yes, I do get that narrative. But those 2 NBA Finals, swept in the second one, 4-1 in the first one, a gentleman's sweep, was the Finals MVP twice. That was against LeBron as well. Even though LeBron was doing him, we just saw KD was there in a better team. And that Golden State Warriors team between like 2017, 2018,
it's the greatest team we've ever seen.
I think it's the greatest team we've ever seen. So, yeah, you're right. It's top 10, top 5 talent even. Mate, top 3.
Top 3. Bro, talent-wise, KD is absolutely incredible. Like, think about the beginning of his career when he's at OKC. And I think within, I would say 2 or 3 years, we're saying this is the second best player in basketball. Obviously, LeBron's number 1, but he could do everything. Obviously, he's there with Westbrook and the young James Harden. They get to a finals. Let's not forget, they got to a finals, obviously lost against LeBron and Miami, who were stacked, and they were grown men. And the NBA, that's one thing about the NBA, it's a grown man's league. It's very difficult in the NBA to come in and win straight away. Nobody does it, apart from Magic Johnson, who had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to play with. And so give him credit for getting to those finals, which I think everybody forgets. But when you look at KD in terms of the move subsequent to Golden State, he hasn't got out the second round of the playoffs since leaving Golden State. And I know his toe was on the line against the Bucks.
And Joe Harris was just shooting ridiculous. As you can tell, I'm a Nets fan, so I can tell you all about that series. Yeah, his toe was on the line. We should have won in Game 7, whatever. Joe.
And then you think about the legacies of the players in those games. Giannis goes on to win the title. KD doesn't reach a third round after that. Yeah. And I think the KD's in danger of being caught all time by Giannis, by Jokic. I think by the time those guys end their careers, you could potentially say they're greater than KD. I think Jokic, you can have that conversation already. 3 MVPs, 1 title. Jokic wins 1 more title, then I don't think there's really a conversation about who's greater, him or KD, because he's done it in Denver, hasn't gone anywhere else. And if you look at the Brooklyn stint and you look at the Phoenix stint, and now Phoenix's future's uncertain, KD, I would say he underachieved. And when people do top 10, I saw Stephen A talking about it. He goes, no, he's definitely a top 10. After that, I said, let me go do my top 10, because you can't put everybody in the top 10. There's only 10 people in the top 10.
No way, really.
And my top 10, number 1, MJ. We can debate this, and this is a continual debate.
I'll let you go for it first before I will.
MJ number 1 for me. Mm-hmm. LeBron James number 2. Mm-hmm. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar number 3. Mm-hmm. Magic Bird number 4. Magic Johnson number 4. Mm-hmm. Larry Bird number 5. Mm-hmm. Tim Duncan number 6. Mm-hmm. Shaq number 7. Mm-hmm. Kobe 8. Steph 9. Hakeem 10. And KD doesn't have a better legacy than any of those players. And if you look at number 10, right, if people want to try and squeeze KD in there, I look at Hakeem. His career is actually quite similar to KD in terms of accomplishments. 2 rings, 2 finals MVP, 1 regular season MVP. The difference, and there's also caveats with Hakeem's rings. It's like, you got those rings when Jordan dipped.
Yeah.
And cool, you got it how you got it.
He did get to a finals in 86.
Yeah, he did.
And that was what, 2 years after he got drafted.
KD also got to a final with OKC early in his career.
5-6 years. Like, imagine getting drafted number 1. We got to remember that Hakeem got drafted above your GOAT.
Yeah.
So imagine coming in 84, drafted number 1, and then 2 years later you get to a finals.
Yeah.
Like, we don't really see that, do you?
No, we don't. Unless it's like Tim Duncan, who goes to a team that, because David Robinson got injured, the team was stacked, but they had a poor record. He comes in, they win the title. But like, I just look at Hakeem's career and I just give him more credit for the stuff that he achieved. And defensively, there's no question about it. Obviously, offensively, KD's got that. And there's nobody, I think, who's been born who's a better offensive player than KD, just strictly offense. But defensively, Hakeem was an absolute monster, arguably the greatest defensive player we've seen in the NBA. And he's got 2 chips, man, and 2 chips that he was a centerpiece. The team wasn't winning before him, and
this is the thing about American sports. It's not about winning. It's about how
you win.
And especially in basketball, I think because of the NFL, there's multiple people on the pitch, but basketball, there's 5 people on the court. When you're in the playoffs, you're probably a good rotation is probably 9. There's 9 of you, if that. So in a series, it's about how you win in the NBA. I think the NBA is the only, like, you can Messi winning the World Cup on penalties. If that, like, penalties are penalties at the end of the day, but no one cares about that's how they won on penalties. No one cares that they took, penalties against Netherlands as well. Like, no one cares about that.
Yeah.
But the NBA is a sport where it's about how you win. If you go onto a stacked team and you win, because mostly teams that win are probably stacked, right? Because you have better players than everyone else. That's kind of how sport works. But it's about how you win, because if you don't win the way in which us fans want you to win, the narrative changes. If KD won at Brooklyn, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Not at all.
And look at Steph, for example.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if Steph didn't win that chip back in, 2021? Where he won it, you would not have put him in your top 10.
No, I wouldn't have. And you're so right, Tony.
Bear in mind, he had 3 rings before that.
Yeah, exactly. But he had no finals MVP. You wouldn't say that you were the sole reason why you won. And if you look at LeBron James, say LeBron James won those 2 at Miami and didn't win another one, we are not having good conversations. And that's what KD did. He won 2 in a stacked team. Because remember the narrative around LeBron James, yeah? It's like, oh, you went and joined a stacked team with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. And people at the time, he walks so Durant could run. What people saying about Durant going to a stacked team, people saying about LeBron and the decision. Yeah. But what LeBron did is he gave you 2016 and he gave you the bubble ship as well. And he said, yo, I am that guy. I've gone to 3 different franchises and I won rings. And if you look at KD and his career subsequent to Golden State, it's just not been good enough, bro. It's not been good enough.
For the talent he is. For
example, Dwayne Wade, and Dwayne Wade's not in the conversation with KD, right? He's not. But the way that people, NBA purists, view Dwayne Wade is that you're a real one because you won it in like your 3rd year in the league in 2006
as the guy with a washed up Shaq.
averaging 35, 36 in the finals, 2-0 down against Dirk and Dallas, and you put the team on your back and you won it. So it doesn't matter what LeBron James can come and do afterwards. You can be Robin, you could be even less than Robin, but you've done it in the way that we know you can be that guy, whereas KD hasn't.
That's so crazy, isn't it?
People view, obviously KD in the pantheon of greats is above Dwayne Wade, but the way that people view Dwayne Wade is they respect him more than KD.
In that top 10 I think is a better basketball player than people in that top 10. Yeah. Mostly, I won't name names, but he's better than a lot of people in that top 10 list. But it's because of the way you win.
It's the way you win, bro.
Really the way. Is that because it's out of all the sports, it has the less amount of people?
Yes. It's a sport where one trade can change the whole league.
Yeah.
One trade can change the whole league.
But we know in modern basketball, one guy can't. Maybe one guy can get you over the line.
The reason why Golden State is the greatest team of all time is because they traded for KD. The reason why we view it is because...
But they won without KD. That 73-9 team did not have KD there. Yeah. They had Andre Iguodala. They had David West in there, man.
Yeah, but in 2015 when they won, bear in mind Kevin Love was out for the finals, Kyrie was out for the finals. Matthew Dellavedova was LeBron's second best player.
True, but
and LeBron still took 2 games off of them.
But that's LeBron James.
And then they didn't win the next year, by the way, when the people were fit, they didn't win. And then they brought in KD and then they won. Obviously, they're going to win. Like, it was a move that kind of...
But I think they didn't, like, listen, I'm not taking anything away from LeBron.
Yeah.
But the Game 6 was crazy. Game 5, people will say, if Draymond never got suspended, who knows, whatever. Yeah. But the Warriors kind of threw that one away. Let's be real. You're 3-1 up. You're the 73-9 team in the regular
season. As if
season.
LeBron and Kyrie weren't putting up numbers.
Of course. Listen, Game 6, they put up numbers. And when it all said and done, Game 7 as well, LeBron made that play. Kyrie made that shot over Curry. Stuff happens. It's a moments thing. But looking back at it, you're the 73-9 team. Yeah. You're 3-1 up. Just go win a bloody game. Do you know what I mean? Go win one, bro. Because remember, Game 6... Steph Curry stunk it up in the final.
Yeah, he did. Steph Curry stunk it up like, bro. In the finals, he stunk up.
Game 7, how many turnovers?
But also remember, in the Western Conference final, they were 3-1 down against who? Kevin Durant. And then he goes and joins them,
Game
bro.
6 Clay.
Bro, that's the problem.
Yeah.
You had them. The best team of all time. That's what people were saying. Bro, the conversations people having about Golden State team was if Steph Curry would have won that chip, people started to have Jordan conversations. They were saying, back-to-back MVPs, unanimous MVP, best regular season, never seen. And you win. People were starting to have serious conversations. And KD had them 3-1 down and didn't finish off the job.
It's such a narrative-based sport, isn't it?
It is, bro.
I love it.
I love it.
I love it. It's such a narrative-based sport. Because...
And bro, do you know what helped LeBron's narrative? He lost the first year at Miami. If they win all 4 years, he's there.
He'd be like, oh
God, he stacked it. But because they had to overcome adversity, he had to become like the villain. He had to overcome that Boston team. Yeah. All of a sudden, it's like, it's not that easy. And then it helped. It helped that they lost that first year. And
against the Spurs as well in 2014, it helps that, even though the Spurs have always been the Spurs and are always in and amongst it, it helped that they lost that one as well. Because it brought the birth of Kawhi. Kawhi went to Toronto and done it. You've got to do it, Kevin. Kevin!
Bro, but the thing is, he's still putting up numbers right now, and Kevin Durant's chip-winning days are not behind him. Same way that you would argue that LeBron's chip-winning days are not behind him, because in the NBA, one move can change everything.
I personally think KD's chip-winning days are behind him.
Do you reckon?
This Phoenix, when he went to Phoenix, it should have worked.
Yeah.
When he went to Phoenix, they had Ayton at the time, they had Booker. You're thinking, now they've added KD. KD was supposed to be... When KD moved to Phoenix, KD was supposed to be going to a stacked team.
Yeah.
Not the same way Golden State was stacked, but the Phoenix Suns were good then. Yeah, right? The Phoenix Suns had made the finals.
Them niggas didn't have heart, though.
No, but that's the thing. Them niggas didn't have heart.
Ayton...
But they had made the finals. So if you're a team that have made the finals and then you're adding KD to it, you're just like, that's the last missing piece, but they've just been stinking it up.
So if you figure out a way, and I know it's probably unrealistic in terms of caps and stuff, but if you figure out a way to get KD to San Antonio to play Wemby, you think his chip-winning days are over? I don't. I think the NBA is so like...
But that's Wemby.
Yeah, bro, it's so... I know, it'll be Wemby's chip. That's the thing, it'll be Wemby's chip.
It'll be Wemby's chip.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, bro. And I felt bad saying it, but I was lying in bed and I was like, KD actually underachieved in his career. And that's crazy to say for a player that won 2 chips, 2 final MVPs.
And I guarantee you, he won't tell you that.
No, because
he's very vocal on social media.
But somebody made a great point. It was Colin Coward, actually. He goes, KD, in a sport that is like full of business people that make business decisions. KD's an artist. He's like, enjoy the art I put forth for you and shut the hell up.
Shut the hell up.
I'm an artist. This is what I do. I don't want to be put in a box. I'm playing basketball. I don't have to think about, bro, LeBron's basically a GM, right? LeBron said he doesn't know about the Luka trade. Cap.
He made it. You see that Supreme Jeans video? I didn't know, man.
Yeah.
Hey, my boy Luka.
Yeah, bro, cap. Like, LeBron's always been in GM mode. Steph Curry's figured out that you also have to play the game as well. Yeah. Whereas KD's been like, let me play basketball and
he's just a hooper.
He's a hooper.
But this is the thing.
He's a hooper.
God made a hooper when he made Kevin Durant. He made a hooper. He said, I'm gonna make a 7-foot hooper. Yeah. He might not have the greatest hairline. He might not ever have a wife, but he don't care. Do you know what I mean? If that's what you have to do with that talent, that's what you have to sacrifice, and I don't think KD cares.
Nah.
So
yeah,
it is what it is. He might have ashy ankles, you know what I mean? Like it is what it is.
What it is.
But you get that talent, and it's unfortunate because if his toe wasn't on the line, I do think that Brooklyn team, maybe I'm biased because I'm a Brooklyn fan, but I do think we go on to win the finals. But it
is what it. I think we just chalk it up to it is what it is. He's an incredible hooper,
and he doesn't. I don't think he cares enough.
Yeah,
no, that's. He doesn't care about what the narrative says about him, as you said. He doesn't care enough for him to go and change the perception of other people.
But bro, and I know that we have to wrap this topic up, but he does though, because if he didn't, he'd stay in Golden State. And I know that Draymond called him a bitch, and it's hard to stay there after Draymond.
Who wants to stay with Draymond? Draymond might punch him in the face.
Draymond Green be ruining dynasties, by the way. Punch Jordan Poole. They had won a chip. Punch Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole could have been a piece in that.
Come on, bro. And then what? You call Kevin Durant a bitch, and all of a sudden he wants to leave. It's like Draymond Green do be messing up dynasties.
He's the glue, but sometimes the glue is not gluing. Like, it's so weird. It's very weird.
But yeah, I think we chalk it up to it is what it is, and Kevin Durant's a hooper, and I don't think he ever cracks that top 10.
Would one more chip by himself in a different franchise put him in that top 10? Because who would you have to take out?
Zach, would you put him in top 10 if he would you put him over Kareem if he?
Why Kareem?
Not Kareem, sorry, Hakeem. Would you put him over Hakeem if he?
Oh yeah, why Hakeem?
Because Hakeem's number 10 for me.
Okay, yeah, that's the Ghanaian in you, I guess.
You know what's crazy though is, when you were saying like two final MVP, like, we know he should be doing double that.
Yes.
For his caliber.
That's
why it's like, Hakeem done more for what he was.
For less.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's what. And if you look,
he should have won in Phoenix. Should have won in
Phoenix. Should have won in Brooklyn.
Should have won in Phoenix.
Like,
yeah.
And
should have won in Brooklyn.
And you look at someone like Steph Curry, for example. Yeah, comes out Davidson, and of course his dad's a basketball player, but he's absolutely maximized his potential. Nobody, when Steph Curry came out of college, said that he'd achieved this.
Well, this is the thing.
Whereas Kevin Durant, we expect him more.
You put Steph Curry as 9. I wouldn't put Steph Curry as 9. I'll put him higher, bro. I feel like
above who?
Well, this is the thing.
Above who?
This is the thing.
Go through the list above who, bro.
I would put him higher, and the reason I would put him higher is because he is now in the argument. I'm not saying he is, but Steph Curry can go down in the modern day argument of being the greatest point guard of all time.
He's not greater than Magic.
Well, so this is the thing, right? Magic has one more chip than him. That's it.
Yeah.
Other than that, Steph has revolutionized the game.
Yeah.
Has 4 chips.
Yeah.
Unanimous MVP.
Magic was like 9 finals as well.
Yeah, but won 5 chips. The same way, like, you won't put... And Steph has gone to multiple finals.
Yeah.
And he's done it, like, fair enough. Like, the whole thing was, can he be the number 1 option? He finally done it. Yeah. He finally got his finals MVP.
Yeah.
Has revolutionized the game, the greatest shooter ever to ever live.
That's the argument
that's the argument for Steph, because Magic at the time was the greatest passer of the ball. Mm-hmm. But I feel like we've seen better passers of the ball. LeBron's a better passer than Magic. People actually think right now Luka's a better passer than LeBron. I saw Jeff Teague say it. I saw Jeff Teague say it in his podcast.
I know, but Jeff Teague be saying a lot on this podcast.
No, but he's saying this as a... Yeah, he does. And I love Jeff Teague, but he's saying it as a basketball perspective, because LeBron can make that... He's saying LeBron makes... he looks at his no-look passes before he looks at...
He does. The LeBron no-look is hilarious.
But that's not a slander. Yeah, no, that's not a slander. Because to make a no-look pass, you have to see where the person is.
LeBron's no-look is so deliberate. It's like...
It was like what Carl Anthony Town was doing the other day. Did you see it? It was like... But... Do you know what it is? With
I
Luke,
love
like
Cat.
Luka can make some ridiculous pass, and I've seen one ridiculous pass from LeBron with my eyes. I remember this was that washed Cavs teams back in 2018 when I watched the Cavs versus Magic, and LeBron drove to the basket, wrapped it around
I've seen that
the
one. Yeah,
baseline
yeah,
to Carl
yeah,
Korver
yeah,
to hit the free, and I saw that live, and I said, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Like the whole stadium was just like, "Damn!" And all you heard was Carl Korver for free with a bucket, and I was like, "What?" Like no one saw that pass coming.
Yeah. LeBron, so okay, so you're saying that. So
You can make the argument. I'm not putting Magic over Steph, and I'm not putting Magic over Steph, but
you're not putting Steph over man.
I'm not putting Steph over Magic. But a modern person who's never watched Magic and never watched Showtime, Rise of the Lakers or whatever, you can say Steph Curry is he's the greatest point guard of my generation.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
a great-
of our
And he
generation.
revolutionized, because point guards back in the day were the floor general, pass to your shooting guard.
Yeah,
But Steph Curry could do that, but he could also shoot.
he
And
could-
also became the greatest shooter of all
But
time.
also, like, he's not really a point guard. He plays off the ball more time,
Well-
so he's not really a point guard.
Well, this is the thing.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
He played-
Draymond had the ball in his hands more than Steph, really.
Not all the time, though.
But like, Steph was running off the ball, making
Yes,
cuts and
but
stuff.
that's because
like,
he was the greatest shooter all the time, and
Yeah.
Steve Kerr was cooking up in the lab. But at the end,
Mark Jackson deserves credit for that as well.
yeah, no, yes, he does. But Steph used to bring up the ball a bit,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, he's the point guard. The ball was predominantly in his hands the most, so he revolutionized
Nah, Magic.
position.
I'm
And don't get twisted, I'm putting Magic over
looking at
Steph.
Magic's got one more chip. Magic's got 3 Finals MVPs. Magic's got 3 regular season MVPs. So how many Steph's got? Steph's got 2.
Steph's got 2, and both unanimous, back to back.
No, the first one wasn't unanimous.
Okay, but the second one was, and that was the only unanimous one we've ever had, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that means every single person said, "Yeah, man."
Bro, Magic won the chip in his rookie season as he played center for Game 6.
For one game.
Yeah.
He played center for one game, and he's 6'8".
Okay,
like
I'm just not putting. I'm
not doing it, but you can make the argument for modern generation.
So
for
who's your
people,
top 10 there? Because you're criticizing my top 10. Who's your top 10?
so I would put Steph a bit higher.
Okay, so number 1.
So I'll put LeBron, obviously, my glorious king, LeBron James.
Okay.
I'll put MJ second.
Yeah.
I'll put Kareem third.
Yeah.
I would put Magic fourth.
Magic 4th, yeah.
I would put Steph 5.
Yeah.
I would put Larry Bird in there.
6.
Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah. And yeah.
And then how many got 2 more?
You got 2 more. You haven't got Duncan, you haven't got Hakeem yet.
I'm putting, Shaq, Duncan, Kobe,
Yeah.
Hakeem.
Okay.
I'm putting Duncan over Kobe. Sorry, Kobe. But
Okay.
Tim Duncan, Tim Duncan's the greatest power forward.
I'll
ever
put
played.
Duncan above Shaq and Kobe. Duncan was crazy. Duncan should have been.
Yeah, no, I don't mind putting Duncan above Shaq and Kobe. Like that's fine with me.
Yeah.
Like Shaq, great, like most dominant center we've ever seen, but
Yeah.
Tim Duncan has the thing that he is, I think, unanimously the greatest power forward we've ever seen.
Yeah. And he just
And what, 5 chips?
5 chips should have been 6. Ray Allen took one from him
For no reason whatsoever.
For a reason to save your goat's legacy.
Yeah, yeah.
To save your goat's legacy.
Listen, we had to
'Cause
do
it
it.
would be crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious if Ray Allen didn't do that.
Yeah,
bro.
no, we had to.
That
And
was
we all
crazy.
watched that finals. We saw it, and it was
saw it.
one of the greatest shots,
saw
man.
it,
Ray
bro.
Allen had to save someone's legacy, bro.
man.
And Ray Allen had to get his own chip as well, bro, because
You know what? You can tell that football for our teams is dead because we've talked about NBA for about 30 minutes and we're supposed to move after
Yeah,
15.
we're supposed to move
bro.
on, bro.
I don't want to talk about football.
we don't want to talk about football, but we're going to have to,
Oh.
bro. Who should we talk about first? United or Chelsea?
You lot, man.
Yeah, man.
You
Well,
lot, your game was, yeah.
Well, this is the thing with Manchester United. I think what I find scary is I don't find what I'm seeing on the pitch scary because
It's a little bit scary. A little bit scary.
it's a little bit scary, but I'm not scared because I saw this coming.
Not this. Not finishing. Not where you are right now.
No, I didn't see us finishing.
Not 15th. Not 15th.
Right,
No,
you're all
not
so
this,
funny.
not
I was
this, bro.
explaining to my sister this morning. I was like, we could get relegated. She's like, what? And my sister doesn't know what.
Bro, when you explain it, like, when I explain it to Harriet, it's just like, yeah, Man United, her perception of Man United is when she got into football, they've always just been like, not bad, but people always saying bad things about Man United.
Okay.
But when I explained where they are on the table, she was like, oh, objectively.
Bro, Everton are above us. Bro, this was Everton, like, Everton are above us right now. And even though we've got Everton on the weekend, well, this is the thing. Amorim came in and said we need to suffer. And I think people need to find the definition of suffer. The reason I'm not so pressed about it is because I watch American sports. I've gone through rebuilds and I know that it has to get worse for it to get better. So I'm used to this. I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan. Like, I've suffered, right? and that they made me suffer for years and for an 82
Still suffering.
games fan. But right now, I'm suffering as a United fan because, like, what we're seeing on the pitch is kind of gazy, and I'm seeing people start to turn on Amorim a bit, which I don't like. And I feel like Man United fans need to focus. They need to shift their anger towards the right people. This is the thing that's really getting on to me. I feel like we should all be angry. We don't like what we're seeing. We're Man United at the end of the day. But people need to shift their focus on what's going on and why we're in this situation. Because everyone's like, look at what Ineos have done. And Anthony's banging at Real Betis at the moment.
Crazy.
Did you see the goal he scored?
Yeah, bro.
Good for him.
4 GA and 3.
Good for him. Good for him. This is good for us, so we can get rid of him. Because
But
it's not gonna...
Betis don't really spend money like that, so it'd be somebody else who'll pick him up. But
good for him. Good for him. This is what we wanted. That helps us.
Yeah.
Him scoring away, that helps us and raises his stock. But I need people to shift their anger. People are shifting their anger towards Amorim. People are shifting their anger towards Ineos. And I'm not saying you can't be angry at Ineos, but I need United fans to shift their anger at the right people. To the Glazers, bro.
But this is where I'll give Man United fans credit. Man United fans are the most patient when it comes to managers in the world. Even at the end of Eric Ten Hag, there were still Man United fans who went to the games week in, week out saying, we don't want to sack them. Like, Man United fans are very patient with managers. They are. And there's only so much green and gold you can do, bro. There is only, like, Man United fans have been protesting the Glazers for the longest. Like, there's only so much you can say, I want you to go, and they will not go. And so then you start to look at other factors, and you start to look at, for example, bro, you know how much I was backing Amorim. I was never having Ten Hag, not from the beginning. But Amorim, I was like, yeah, because I like the way you talk. I like the fact that you're pretty definitive. You've come out, you've been honest. You said we need to suffer. But when you're, some of the things that he's been doing, like the substitutions or lack of substitutions, was gazy. Bringing on Chido Obi with 3 minutes to go, little bit gazy. Playing Kobe Mainu up front, little bit gazy. There's a few things, right, that I'm like, you're a good manager, I know that. What do we need? Left wing back, left wing back. First game, where do you play left wing back? Right wing back. And it's just like, sometimes you can help yourself. And sometimes you're not helping yourself. And even the Marcus Rashford thing, where I get it, basically he's saying, brother, fix up. But you don't need to bring in your goalkeeper coach to make up the point. Do you know what I mean? You can just make the point and keep it moving. All of a sudden, and then you say, I know you want your headlines, and then you give them a headline. And this is part of the reason why Liverpool, but like, he's a sick manager, but in terms of his ideas, he's so steadfast in it that he's not willing to adapt to what we kind of have already.
That's what we want, bro, and that's what we need.
That's what I like about him, right? But when you're currently sitting 15th in the table, all of a sudden that don't sound good.
And that's, but he knows that because he said it from day one. He said, this is going to take time. However, the way I gain time is by winning football games.
Yeah.
And you're right. Man United fans are patient because majority of us have gone through the same guy for 26 years. So it's like getting about, that sounds crazy, but it's like getting out of a relationship and not willing to go back because you've been so comfortable. I don't want to be jumping from relationship to relationship. So that's why a lot of Man United fans are patient. However, Man United as a club will not give the same amount of time and leeway to managers that some other clubs can have. And so our issue is that we can't buy our way out of this. 2, we have a cash flow issue. We have a massive financial issue. Like, people need to realise why we didn't sign anyone in January, or why we only signed Patrick Dorgu and Aiden Heaven in January, is because we weren't allowed to spend money. And the reason we weren't allowed to spend money is because we have no money, KWEKU. Because the reason why Sir Jim, and yes, Ineos, this is me not defending Ineos. I need to make this very, very clear. This is me not defending Ineos, but this is our situation. We have no money whatsoever. If it wasn't for Ratcliffe's investment, the added investment that he put 250 into the club, we've had 5 years of consecutive losses. He put 250 in the club. We would have negative cash flow, bro. Football clubs don't really make profit. There's not many profitable, unless you're Brighton, there's not many profitable football clubs. You man don't make profit.
No.
But you man don't have negative cash flow.
No.
Businesses shouldn't have negative cash flow. Manchester United as an institution now we would have had negative cash flow if Sir Jim Ratcliffe did not help us out. So at the end of the day, when the Glazers announced, you know what, we kind of need more P's because the way we keep taking from a club and the way we're going, we might not be able to do that anymore. Anyone in the world, there's like 9 billion people or 8 billion people in this world, anyone could have invested in Man United if you had the P's. Only one person done that. Show proof of funds and went to bed with the Glazers. So that's our situation. That's our reality.
Can you clarify something? The proof of funds, who wants to see proof of funds?
The Glazers. So basically, remember, like, we're worth 3.6 something billion. That's our estimated value. The Glazers asked for stupid money for the whole thing, which was 6.5, which no one's going to do that, because not only are you paying 6.5 billion, you then have to get us out of the mess that. And bear in mind, right now, the mess that we in is gazy, because Ratcliffe doesn't even want to put all of his money into the mess to clear out all of it. Why should he clear out the debt that the Glazers
for 25% of the club?
For 25%, no normal human being would do that. So we need to face our reality, and that's why. Because right now we've invested into new training facilities, which that's being built. 2, we're looking at a way to build a stadium, because our stadium's very old and leaking and has been the butt of jokes for how long. And 3, so bear in mind, if we're doing all that, this means we can't buy our way out of this stuff. So Carrington has to save us. And Carrington can save us, because no, it can. Because the reason it can, because when we actually get people from Carrington properly and not circumstantial, there's difference how we get people from the first team, the under-21s or under-18s to the first team. The ones that are good enough, normally, if you're good enough at United, you're good at under-18 level, you're good at under-21 level, and then it's like, you're too good for these levels, get into the first team. Now, there's only been with a couple people since post-Fergie. I can name you one, and that was Mason Greenwood, right? Right? When he came to the first team, didn't bat an eye. No one was like, who's this kid? We were like, oh, yeah, I can see why. That wasn't the same with people like Scott McTominay or Marcus Rashford. That was circumstantial. Marcus Rashford took his opportunity and became a Man United player. Scott McTominay took his opportunity with Mourinho's fetish.
Probably wasn't circumstantial. Exactly.
Now look at the difference. You see where I'm coming from. So the ones that actually go on to make it and have a future in the first team, other than Mason Greenwood for what he done, that's how we normally bring up Alejandro Garnacho. That wasn't circumstantial. That was, you're too good for these levels, so get into the first team. Yeah, and we don't do that often.
But I feel like you're viewing, and again, maybe you can correct me, I think you're viewing Carrington the wrong way. In terms of your financial situation, you need Carrington to get to a point where you've got players that, even if they're not good enough for your first team, you can sell them for a quick 20 mil. The same way you do with Lewis Hall. It's not necessarily just about getting players into your first team. So it's about flipping players that cost you nothing.
Exactly.
For 20, 30, 40 mil.
Exactly.
That's what the academy should be for. Not should be for. But that's in modern football, PSR, that's how people have to use their academy.
So that's a way to do that. So that's what we need to do, because really and truly, look at the way Rashford will probably pop at Villa. Look at the way McTominay's living life at thingy now. Look at James Garner at Everton. Look at Angel Gomez at Lille. All those guys left for free. If we were smart and properly and actually ran like a normal football club, we would have flipped them for peas. So we do have the capability of doing that. We just don't do that. And that's why we're trying, that's why we're sorting out like Carrington now as we speak. But that's going to take time. But unfortunately now we need a couple to come into the first team, because don't get twisted. I know that the substitutions yesterday against Tottenham.
Crazy.
But look at the game. And listen, I'm all for one for making those subs, but I do get as to why Amorim did not make those subs.
But then you don't make any subs.
But don't make any subs. Yeah, you're right.
Why are you giving Chido Obi like his? And again, it's not a sentimental game. That's forever going to be his Manchester United debut, coming on in the drab loss against Spurs for 3 minutes to do nothing for Casemiro.
Do you remember Ronaldo's debut?
Yeah, but against Bolton, he actually did something. Yeah. It was a proper debut. I do remember his debut.
Yeah, so not everyone gets.
But brother, you didn't need to bring him on.
No, you didn't.
You didn't need to bring him on.
You didn't.
Like that, there was no reason to bring him on for 3 minutes for Casemiro. But then
if we did, we would have been like, why didn't he make subs? Like it was a losing battle either way.
Okay, so make the subs earlier.
He should have. He should have. But what?
You have to admit, and again, I'm still aboard the Amorim train. I feel like he's a good manager. But like there are a few things that he's doing that are a little bit crazy, scary, spooky.
So this is the thing. He's not helping himself right now. Like the Patrick Dorgu thing on the right wing back was kind of like, come on, man.
Man.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, just help. Like, we know you've been dealt a bad hand, but help yourself.
Yeah.
And in which he did. He played it on the left wing back, and I think he played all right yesterday.
He did.
And so there's that. And managers do that sometimes, because you've seen like, oh, why is this guy still playing there? Why like managers are tapped. We all know that. They're so fixated in their ideas that they seem to miss normal stuff. And I've just seen that from watching football over the years. So I do get that. Amorim, help yourself. But we've got to look at this. We can't just bring youngsters into a crazy game, because, bro, if we bring those youngsters, normally when you bring a youngster into the team, they can play next to someone, have a 30-year-old to hold their hand. I remember when we brought Johnny Evans up, we had Vidic there, because we had, again, Johnny Evans, circumstantial, that one we had defensive injuries. I remember there was times we were playing Carrick and Fletcher centre back. We brought up Johnny Evans, but he had Vidic there at the time. And even though Vidic was at the back end of his career, Vidic kind of helped him out. Johnny Evans went on to go win the Premier League, became a good footballer, and now he's back at the club.
Yeah, that's...
But anyway, that's what happened. We don't. All of our 30-year-olds right now are cooked, right? Like you can't bring in a midfielder and say normally you could bring in a midfielder.
Bruno's not cooked.
No, but Bruno's not cooked. But Bruno yesterday had to do way more jobs than he should have instead of helping out a youngster. If we brought a youngster on, Bruno should be there to like just help the youngster throughout the game, or Casemiro.
Yeah.
But Casemiro would have left that youngster to drown, bro. Like we can't. We're not in a situation to bring in youngsters right now. So it's a really, really hard situation.
So with Manchester United, then still in the FA Cup, still in Europa League. You look at the injuries now, because there was a bit of confusion yesterday. It was like, obviously Ahmed's out for the rest of the season.
I want to hum myself. Good night.
and then there's a bit of confusion pre-game. I don't know if it's rest of the season or what, but we're like, is Kobe out for the rest of the season as well? Do you see that?
Yeah.
Is Kobe out for the rest of the season?
No, Kobe's out for multiple weeks.
For 6 weeks?
Yeah, probably.
So it's the rest of the season?
No, we've got 2 months.
6 weeks is...
That's a month and a half.
By the time it gets up to...
Yeah, 6 weeks like April, bro. Feck. I forgot. That's like Easter. Oh, damn.
Maybe you can make the Europa League final if you make it. So like, and a lot of Man United fans, they've written off the season, but when you have these write-off seasons, the people you latch onto it, like, I know Ahmad didn't come from the academy, but these young players that you can kind of live vicariously through, and Kobe's one of those, Ahmad's one of those. Now those 2 players are out for an extended period of time. What Man United got to fight for this season? And can you achieve those goals without your best player?
No, we know, being realistic, no. Because, I'm sorry, Tottenham are not a good team.
They're terrible.
Tottenham are terrible. I could see why they lost to Leicester at home. I could see why they lost to Ipswich at home. Really and truly, if Garnacho could finish, we could have easily won that game.
I've got to hold my hands up. Like, Garnacho is a player that I do still rate. I still think he can go on to be a good player. But recent weeks, I'm seeing in definitive moments like CTE. I'm seeing like, brother,
crazy decision making. No, but that's fine for a 20-year-old. I think crazy decision making is fine for a 20-year-old.
No, but it's not even the decision making, bro. It's like the execution is the thing I'm seeing that is concerning me. Like,
I've been trying to tell you.
The finish, like where he skied it. I said, it's fair enough if you hit it down the keep, like
hit it straight at the keeper. That went
to sky it. It's
why?
Like, why? What were you trying? Like, how has that happened? Like, why has that happened? Like, that's the thing that bothers me. That's not decision making. That's just like, did that come off the wrong part of your foot?
Nah, so what it is that in his head he's the best player in the world.
Yes, I know. And that's what makes him great.
So that's what makes him great, because he has the mentality to be a Man United player. He does. He's
got amnesia, bro. When he fucks up, he just literally he forgets about it.
And top players need that.
Smoking that Ami, bro.
Do you know what I mean? and top players need that. Top players do need that. Now he just needs the execution. He needs his feet to match his mind, which can come over time. So that's the least of my worries. Yeah, mate. We don't. Well, this is the thing. United fans, you could have said we wrote off the season in November when you get a season. Yeah. Because this is what Dan Ashworth didn't want to do. Yeah. Right. And I get why Dan Ashworth didn't want to do that, because you would have to write off a season. But I think it's funny when people say, "Oh yeah, we write off our season," but when you come with the reality of writing off your season, you don't realize how bad it is.
Yeah, right? you can't write, because the thing is, it's like writing off the season, but there's no guarantee next season will be better.
Exactly. So we need to.
Tomorrow's not always promised, bro. And I look at Manchester United and I look at Amram, and I just look at I look at the toll that being a Premier League manager takes on you. He looks older.
Watch how quick his hair will go white.
Bro, his hair will go great. Like, and unless he does an Arteta thing where he dyes it, bro, the guy is going to look so much older.
Watch how quick, because I noticed this with Oli. I noticed it with Mourinho.
Yeah, man.
18 months into the Oli came in with normal hair. Yeah. Started getting. I was like, it's the stress that much. Stress. Well, this is the thing, because
it's an impossible job, man. Because the thing is, you've got the pressure.
But we're trying to make it least impossible.
Nah, it's impossible.
No. It's not impossible. It looks impossible right now. But one thing I will say is that Ineos have come in and they've realised the mess we're in, and they're trying to fix it.
But whether, like, there's a and this is where I think there has to be a differentiator. I know that you guys have been in the mud and people haven't been trying for a long time, so this is like what you have to take it. But also there is levels of execution. So they're trying, but it doesn't mean they're doing a good job of it. Like they're trying,
No,
but
they've made a couple of mistakes.
But there's levels to doing it, and I just feel like their track record in terms of owning football. We'll see how it pans out in it. Like I think Man United are in a very difficult position, and financially, yeah, Jim Ratcliffe has bailed you out. But I don't. If I look at each person, right, I know that Jason Wilcox but being the technical director or being the director of football at Southampton is very different to coming and doing that at Manchester United, and having to fill Dan Ashworth's role. They're all taking steps up. Like being the COO at Man City, Omar Barada, is very different to being the CEO of Manchester United. Yeah. People are taking a step up in their roles, and we're seeing if they can do it or not. And I just don't know that. I don't know if they can, and we'll see. You know, maybe that's me being pessimistic, but I just look at the situation, I look at the finances, I look at where you're at, look at the squad composition, and I say, wow, this is a big job that I don't know if Ruben Amorim can fix, but we'll see.
Well, it's the thing. It's a big job, and I feel like Ruben Amorim knew what he was coming into. Like facing the reality of it, like he said, we're going to suffer, and we are suffering, so he hasn't shied away from that. And I think he knew, because at the end of the day, the brother did not want to come in season. Yeah, he didn't, and for this exact reason, he did not want to come in season. So I totally get it. In regards to Ineos, listen, people were focusing on Ineos right now, and yes, there's so many mistakes Ineos have done. I know the Dan Ashworth thing doesn't look good now that he's not with us. I know the raising of ticket prices doesn't look good, especially with the product that we're providing. I totally get that. But one of my favourite white people sayings is that you got to break a few eggs to make an omelette, innit? Yeah, do you know what I mean?
No, I don't be eating that Man United omelette.
No, neither do I. But for the grass to get greener, we have to sort out our finances. Two, we have to streamline a lot of our stuff, because again, The Athletic came out with an article about our data department. Now, data in football started happening around 2010, 2011. That's when big clubs started to do that. Do you want to guess what year we started to get a data thingy in?
16?
No, 2021, bro. We were 10 years behind. So not only are we 10 years behind everything, we've been like, don't be surprised when Man United, Dan Ashworth was our first director of football. Like, don't be surprised how behind we are with everything. And this kind of derives back from Fergie. And I've always said it from early. Like I clocked it was around 2010 where I clocked where football was modernising and Man United just didn't get it with the times. At first, I was a kid. I was 13 at 2010. So I remember, for me, it was social media. And I remember when clubs started having social media, and the last club to ever have social media was Man United. But that's because Fergie, I'm guessing that was down to Fergie. Fergie was like, we're not having social media. Yeah. And I get that because we still won 2 titles. But then as soon as Fergie went, oh, look, social media. Like, clubs have, we've just signed PSG's old commercial director, in which his role is to bring sponsorships into the club. Like, look at PSG have stuff with Jordan. AC Milan have stuff with Off-White and Puma.
Yeah,
and stuff but I'm not saying this is going to fix us, but this is stuff that normal big football clubs have. We don't have that.
Yeah, but like that can also go the other way, right? Because like when you're a club like Arsenal, you ain't winning stuff. You're doing well, but you're not winning stuff, and you do those commercial things. Sometimes the perception of that is like, yo, are you a brand or are you a football club?
Granted.
And I get it brings in P's and brings in money.
But one, we need to bring in P's, and two, we need to actually just act like a football club.
But the thing is, it's like, I actually have a different view on that, and obviously we've got to move on to talking about my football club. But like, when I look at Manchester United, yeah, I get it. It's about bringing in money so you can actually bring in the players. But ultimately, we don't look at the P's that Real Madrid bring in. They do it automatically because they're Real Madrid. We don't look at the P's that Bayern bring in.
Yeah, but they've had that in place.
Yeah, cool. We just look at trophies. And ultimately, you can talk about all of this, and you've explained it brilliantly in terms of the finances. But ultimately, when you're looking at the league table, Manchester United are 15th in the Premier League. People don't really care about the nuances of what's going on.
Granted, but what we have to get back up into the table, we have to fix.
I don't think you're going to get back up, unfortunately.
So we're going to stay 15th forever?
I just think that the Manchester United that we knew, and the Manchester United that would attract the biggest players, and the Manchester United that are undoubtedly the top 5 biggest clubs in the world, I think that those days are the same way that I have to accept it for Chelsea in terms of Roman Abramovich when it has changed. Football changes, and I thought that Man United would be one of these infallible institutions like a Bayern Munich, like a Real Madrid, that would never be able to fall. But we're watching it fall right now, and I don't.
No, we're watching it fall right now, and so you just don't think we're ever going to get back?
Nah, I don't. No, I don't. No, okay. I don't. Like, and I suppose we can segue. We've talked about Man United. We can segue into my terrible institution of a football, not terrible institution. That's actually where I want to start with Chelsea, right? The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Oh my God, we're sixth. Do you know what I mean? Like we're above a lot of teams that people say are having incredible seasons. And I've got a gripe. And I don't even know if I should voice it. But
No,
I
say
remember
what you
Chelsea,
say. It's a safe space, right?
beating Southampton away from home, beating Spurs away from home. We're in a title race. Even though I said we're not in a title race, it's just how the fixtures have fallen. And Chelsea fans, away fans, when we beat Spurs 4-3, was at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Bear in mind that away fans, no matter what people want to say, they're your core fan base. They're people who pay money to go home and away. They spend their money on the football club. And those fans were singing, "We've got our Chelsea back." Enzo Maresca was there with the players clapping there. Fans are singing, "We've got our Chelsea back." Fast forward, and that was the day before my son was born. So, yeah, December the 6th. No, it's day after. So it's December the 8th.
Hey, you make sure you get that right, bro.
So day after the son was born. And then, literally 6 weeks after that, that's where we're at right now, 6-8 weeks after that, we are talking about protests and fans singing. After the last game that Chelsea lost against Brighton, those are same away fans are singing, "We want our Chelsea back." And to me, it's insane. There's planned protests for Chelsea on 25th of February, where the fans are going to protest the owners of the club, and they're not happy with how Blueco operates the football club, not happy with the transfer strategy as well, the fact that this club or this squad has got no experience. And it just makes me realise that football fans are Chelsea fans more than any other fans, are so results dependent. Are so results dependent. How 8 weeks ago you're singing, "We've got our Chelsea back," and 8 weeks later you're going to protest and saying that we want our Chelsea back and still singing Roman Abramovich's name. I get it. Roman Abramovich, to me, is the greatest owner in the history of football. There's never been an owner that's come into a football club, changed their life, changed their trajectory, won everything, made them the most, during the period he was there, the most successful club in the country, and obviously the war happened and he had to dip. There's never been an owner like that. There's never been, in this country, right, because football's a working class game, you never really get fans saying that I love my owner, I love my billionaire owner. You don't have any sympathy for billionaires.
You don't.
Like United will protest the Glazers. Liverpool have got questions about FSG. We know about the protests against Levy and ENIC. Football clubs, they don't love their owners. Chelsea fans, to a man, love Roman Abramovich. And that's a new thing. And so when he left, you told me straight away, you go, "Brother,
you're finished. Welcome to reality."
Well, this is changing, because at other football clubs, I feel like they're built in the image of a manager. You look at Manchester United, built in the image of Fergie. You look at Liverpool, historically, built in the image of Shankly and Paisley. Look at Arsenal, modern Arsenal anyway, built in the image of Arsene Wenger. Chelsea were built in the image of Roman Abramovich. Managers came and went, whether it's Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte, Thomas Tuchel, Carlo Ancelotti, Mauricio Sarri. It did not matter. Trophies would come, we would win, they'd get sacked. It didn't matter. And so Chelsea fans are finding it difficult over the last 3 or 4 years to adjust, and I understand that. But to take to the streets of Southwest London protesting the owners when a lot of that fan base 8 weeks ago was saying we've got our Chelsea back, I think is just a little bit hypocritical and tells you that football is results dependent. And at Chelsea more than any other club. Chelsea, we've never cared about style of play. We do not care about style of play. At Man United, at Liverpool, at Arsenal, you have to win a certain type of way. There's a reason why Man United never went and got Antonio Conte. There's a reason why Jose Mourinho just, despite the fact that he won trophies and he was actually quite successful,
it just didn't feel right.
It didn't work. At Chelsea, our most successful managers are the Jose Mourinhos, are the Antonio Contes, are the Tuchelabans. Like we are a football club that doesn't care about performances, it's about results and winning trophies. And unfortunately for Maresca right now, you're not getting results, you're not winning trophies. And Pochettino, who last year we considered a disaster, finished 6th. Got to the final of the League Cup, got to the semi-final of the FA Cup. We're out of the FA Cup, we're out of the League Cup. We're still in the Conference League, but no one cares about that. We're currently 6th. And when Maresca's asked in interviews about what the goals are for you this season, he goes, the remit was never really to qualify for Champions League this year.
That's crazy.
I was on board when you're saying the title race, we're not a title contenders, because you're telling the truth, we're not. But to say that Chelsea, the remit's not to get in the Champions League, is, I think, is
if Abramovich was there, he would have shot you on sight, bro, in a press conference there and then.
That's a sackable offence. What are we talking about? There are standards, there are levels. You cannot, as a Chelsea manager, say the remit's not to get in the Champions League. That is the minimum expectation for any top football club. And as soon as I heard that, I said, yo, Maresca, your time might be done. Because bear in mind that Poch finished 6th last year and lost his job. We know 99.5% that the top 5 make it to Champions League. So you're telling me that you're going to finish 6th. You're telling me that you can't finish in the top 5. If that's the case, you did exactly what Poch did. You deserve to go. I'm sorry, but you are a Chelsea manager. The minimum expectations to finish in Champions League.
So let's say Maresca goes now, and I don't think anyone will bat an eyelid if Maresca goes at this rate. And from what you've said, in regards to the ownership, because I think your transfer strategy is a big thing to talk about, because you've spent over $1 billion under Blueco, right?
Yeah.
And you can, there's Chelsea fans that are like, we've spent over 1.2 billion and we have no strikers, we have no centre backs, we have no spine.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that a massive issue with the fans as well?
What, in terms of the composition of the squad?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Because when you look at look at Chelsea last year, it was around about this time last year that we won an incredible run. We lost against Wolves at home, and then between then and the end of the season, the only game that we lost was against Arsenal, who were obviously title contenders. But you look at the team, and you look at who came into that team, Thiago Silva. There's no grown-ups in this team right now. And so these kids are looking at other kids being like, we don't know what to do. You can see the go against Brighton, it's like, oh, I don't know how to salvage the situation. You're seeing now people criticise Cole Palmer, which, again, we need to talk about that. Cole Palmer's not infallible. Cole Palmer's not perfect. Cole Palmer, if he's not playing well, deserves to be criticised. And also it comes with the territory, right? Bro, people are criticising Erling Haaland. He scored 19 league goals. People are saying he's a League 2 player. The guy broke the Premier League goal scoring record in his first season. The second season, which he was poor, got the golden boot. And people are going on TV and saying that he's a League 2 standard player. Mo Salah, I've seen it with him when Liverpool was struggling. It's like, is he actually that good? It's touch. When you're one of those Pantheon greats, you're gonna get criticism. And Cole Palmer
Is Cole Palmer one of those Pantheon greats?
Cole Palmer's not Pantheon great, but he's on his way to
yeah, 100%. And to Chelsea fans,
fans. I saw Eden Hazard, bro. Eden Hazard got criticised massively. He's like, oh, I don't know if he. Bro, Eden Hazard dragged us to 2 Premier League titles and titles that we shouldn't have won. And Eden Hazard's one of the greatest players the Premier League's ever seen, and he got criticism. So you don't disagree, but it's the tweet,
no, I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing.
The tweet killed you.
No. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'll admit that.
It's the same way that like because just to let everyone know, Tony's got a little bit of a thing with Eden Hazard. Like, he doesn't believe he's as good as I make him out to be, or Chelsea fans make him out to be.
No. I just feel like for the talented player that he was, I feel like his application of talent was as good. Like, he could have gone on to be so much.
That's perfect. You've just come fallen straight into my trap. The same way that you think about Eden Hazard, I think about Paul Pogba. Because in my head, I'm like, Pogba should have come to play for Chelsea. And also, how good you are and how good we all know you were, you should have been way better. You should have been the greatest we've ever seen. And that's the same way, like, it's the same thing.
No, but my difference is, the difference is with Paul Pogba is that Paul Pogba was a product of his environment.
What do you mean?
Like, Paul Pogba, when he was at Juve, the Man United, we can all say now in hindsight, the Man United move was wrong, but that's because Man United had been asked for how long, and he was within asked teams, in which he still kind of won trophies. But when he went to France, like, he went on to go win a World Cup.
Yeah.
But with Eden Hazard, it's like,
the environment was not great.
No, the environment wasn't great, but he was in 2 title-winning teams. He was in Belgium's golden generation.
Yeah, and
couldn't even give me a cheeky Euros, no.
Yeah, okay.
Not even like how Robin Carney.
The World Cup was because of Paul Pogba, or was it because he was playing next to N'Golo Kante? Because
the same N'Golo Kante that got hooked off on the final.
Oh, cool. Paul Pogba next to anybody else? Have you seen him look like this?
For France, yeah. When he was playing for Juve, yeah. So it's not like he's not just a product.
Juve in the diamond midfield next to Marquinhos, Pirlo, and Vidal. Bro. Of course you're going to look good.
So why are we questioning?
Because the thing is with Eden Hazard, you said, oh yeah, he's in 2 Premier League title winning sides. If you take Eden Hazard out of those sides with Marcus Alonso, Victor Moses, does Chelsea finish in the top 4? Probably not. Bro. Probably
but you might just went on a crazy run, bro.
Because of, brother, he was too good for us for so long. He dragged us to those titles. I'm so sorry, but a team that starts Victor Moses and Marcus Alonso should not be winning any trophies, brother. And David Luiz in 2017 should not be winning anything. I'm so sorry. They shouldn't be. And that guy dragged us to that. So I can't even remember where I was at with. Oh no, it was about the Cole Palmer getting criticised. Eden Hazard got criticised, so Cole Palmer deserves to get criticised. But in terms of Chelsea overall, bro, if Enzo Maresca doesn't finish in the Champions League places, whether that's 4th or 5th, you deserve to.
Is that even still enough for you lot?
Yeah, what?
Just because you haven't been in the Champions League in a minute.
Yeah, get back in the Champions League.
Yeah, I guess
it's the goal. No, it's not the goal. For me, I want to win trophies. As a Chelsea fan, like, it's always been about trophies. Like, in our worst day, brother, I tell you this all the time, Maurizio Sarri, Chelsea fans will tell you that's the worst season in our history, bro.
He won the Europa League and finished third.
Won the Europa League and got to the League Cup final. And, like, people hated that season. Frank Lampard, in the season where we had the transfer ban, bro, at least he got to an FA Cup final with a core of Fikayo Tomori, Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount, who were playing in the Championship the year before, and Reece James. Like, you're Chelsea Football Club. We shouldn't be going out the FA Cup to Brighton. We shouldn't be going out the League Cup early stages to Newcastle. We should be Poch is mid, right? Poch got to a League Cup final, got to an FA Cup semi-final, like minimum expectations. So yeah, Maresca, if you don't get qualified Champions League, bro, you're gone.
So do you think he will?
No, I don't. I think Bournemouth are better than us. I think Nottingham Forest are better than us. I think Man City are better than us. I think Liverpool are better than us. I think Arsenal are better than us. So yeah.
So where do you see yourself ending the season? Like 7th, 8th?
Like 7th, yeah. 7th.
And that will get you into the Europa League.
Yeah, and that'll get him the sack.
Yeah. So then you need to find a new manager.
Yeah.
And then this is the issue with, this is why I said welcome to our reality, because even though like you can still get away with this ownership model of like not having a crazy owner like Roman Abramovich and sacking managers, but you man now have these owners that have this specific transfer strategy, which is, I don't think it's a bad strategy.
No, it's a good strategy.
No, so this is the reason I don't think it's a good strategy. It's not a good strategy because modern football is like the way you have to play football. Like, you can't just buy good young players and slap them in a 4-2-3-1. Remember I said this from early.
It's a good financial.
It's a good financial strategy.
Yeah.
But that's only going to get you so far.
Yeah. Because Chelsea got the youngest squad in the Premier League by 2 years. Not to quote Alan Hansen, but you're not going to win anything with kids, bro. Like, if you think about Frank Lampard in his first season, 1920, kids. They were kids. They were all kids. Transfer ban, Hazard's left, kids. Didn't win anything. What did Chelsea do in the transfer window? Again, these players, we can talk about them, but he went and brought in a Thiago Silva. He went and brought in experience. What did Chelsea do that following season? They won the Champions League. You ain't going to win anything. You ain't got grown-ups in the room. Like, that Chelsea won Champions League. Jorginho, Euros winner. N'Golo Kante, World Cup winner. Thiago Silva, who's Thiago fucking Silva. Like, you ain't going to win anything if you ain't got grown-ups, bro. And right now, Chelsea ain't got grown-ups.
And you're not planning on buying
grown-ups. I'm not planning on buying grown-ups, bro.
Even if you're buying, like, how can you spend all that money and still not have a striker or still not have a goalkeeper or still not... Like, that's the main issue. Like, if you're just... Because I feel like there's some players you've bought and there's some players you bought that.
One thing I'll back though is these guys know what they're talking about or looking at when they're scouting talent, right? And that's why every team is either like looking at Chelsea. Is it Vivell?
Christophe Vivell, yeah.
Like every kind of director of football, technical advisor has had some pathway through Chelsea at some point because these guys, like, they have an identification of talent. For example, Samu Omorodion, people were laughing at that. Remember some people were like, what?
Yeah, hey, he dunked on us,
bro. He's a good player. He's a good player. In a good system, he's a decent enough player. So these guys know they'll go and identify talented players. The fact that we've got Esteval, right? He's going to change lives and feed families and move mountains. But until we get to that stage...
Doesn't get in Jesus, but yeah, he's good.
He's a real deal.
Yeah,
and when you look at the wingers option right now, we don't need to get into Jadon Sancho because I spazzed out on TalkSport last night.
Really?
Yeah, spazzed out.
Really? What did you say?
Because their man were bringing up like Jadon Sancho and the freedom thing. And I get it, tribalistic wise, if you're a Man United fan, you don't want to hear that. But I'm saying people are acting as if he said... Like as if he called Marcus Rashford the N-word and he was a slave Man United. He just said freedom, bro.
Yeah.
And is he wrong? He's not wrong. He's not wrong. And people was like, oh yeah, but they're his employer. I'm like, barely. The clause of the contract is if we don't finish 14.
United are not his employer anymore. We have nothing to do with Jadon Sancho, bro.
He's our player. He can tweet what he wants. People are like, oh, you need to show a bit of respect. It just to me smells a little bit, and I don't like it.
Yeah. The freedom thing, I was just like, it's unnecessary, bro. I saw it as unnecessary. But people are seeing it as just like, either you think you are like, I don't want to give Jadon Sancho that time.
Unnecessary.
I don't have that time for him like that. But
yeah,
like I just saw it. It's just a bit unnecessary, bro. Yeah. Like just you can text him and say it's unnecessary, but it is what it is.
All right, well, that's us for an hour, bro. Another episode of RNS and
another episode. Yeah, thank you for watching another episode. Like and subscribe. A lot of you that watch us aren't subscribed, so yeah, subscribe, bro.
Yeah, make sure you do that good stuff. Make sure you comment down below as well. We want to get your guys' thoughts on that. Obviously, we have our opinions on things, but we want to know what you guys think about what we say. And let me know if you think Tony's chatting rubbish when it comes to Manchester United.
If there's only one nigga that's chatting rubbish, is this one. But yeah,
we'll be back soon.